Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and the Brian Kibler situation is absolutely crazy. We're stealing from Moist Critical again. It worked really well for the Rant video, so we're doing it again. But yes, when you have a face like that, you're a little bit disgruntled. You're a little bit not happy. And as the title reads, is it time for a break from Hearthstone? Kibler's been here since day one. He has been an absolute foundation for the Hearthstone community, and he went off on like a 25-minute rant. I want to go over his main points. We're not going to replay them. I'll link his video down below if you want to watch. I highly recommend watch his video if you haven't already. Support him. I just don't like using other people's content in my videos if I can avoid it. So we'll use the main points and yeah, go over why all of this stems to the reason or a huge issue that we keep talking about lately, which is the absolute lack of leadership, direction for Hearthstone, not only in design, not only in balance, but also monetization, promotion, literally everything. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting more concerning. And we need to keep pointing it out because it's never going to get better. It's only going to get worse. And Kibler taking a step away, I hope, will be a large kick in the butt for them. So we'll go over that. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like. As we're not on the road to 100K anymore, by the way. We got our play button. Thank you guys for that. Unbelievable. I never thought I'd see the day. But yeah, we're on the road to 200K. I don't know, whatever. Just thank you all for that. We got it today, so I wanted to show that off. So yes, Kibler made a very good video today. He's been making these videos lately because, well, he's not super satisfied. There was like the State of Hearthstone video. There was the Hearthstone isn't fun anymore or isn't fun these days, where he has just continuously been frustrated, but more so about like the balance and issues in the game. Like he always brought up Protoss Mage and people, you know, memed on that because Protoss Mage isn't that great, even though it's a competitive deck that prevents a lot of good stuff from happening. Regardless, he really went in on this video on a lot of key issues I want to point out. So let's do that, starting off with the main central focus of his video, which we have been talking about a lot lately, which is really important, which we've seen a lot of boneheaded, just completely out of touch decisions lately, the lack of direction with the game. And he used as a focal point to point this out in terms of like a design perspective of, you know, they nerfed Reska, they nerfed Yogg last year, and then they introduced Bob, where that would just steal your minion. And the other cards they nerfed was they nerfed because they would steal your minion, right? So why are we introducing a card that does the exact same thing? I pointed that out when the card was revealed, so I'm glad I'm at least on this somewhat the same wavelength as someone like Brian Kibler. And yeah, really troubled him. And then he talked about, again, this year, the first two expansions just kind of being baffling, right? We have Into the Emerald Dream, and we have the latest expansion, The Lost Even Goro, where both of them have no win scenarios of being expansions centered around very problematic designs, whether it be hero powers, so the Gen and Baku situation again of losing to scaling hero powers feels terrible, or quests where we have Stormwind, the most reviled expansion in Hearthstone history, or in Goro we have like the Caverns Below, another hated card, where both of these expansions have the problem of if the mechanics are actually good and dominant, people hate them. They loathe quests. They loathe losing to hero power decks. But if they're bad, that's kind of your success because if people aren't mad about them. Where I made a tweet a while ago. It went kind of viral on Reddit or whatever. Like, is Zeddy right? And it's Reddit. Of course I'm not. But regardless, going over the only reason people don't hate Imbue is because it's mostly sucked so far. And that was kind of the case. Once Imbue Paladin got good, my God, people hated it. In Wild, ask anyone about Imbue Mage. It's absolutely low. I have people wanting to ban Reckless Apprentice from the format because it's so frustrating losing to a stupid hero power. And we're seeing the same with quests too, right? The Paladin quest, the only good quest where, yeah, at high ranks, it's not amazing. Oh no, dear Lord. But it's still at a 50% win rate, even at top 1K. disregard that. People hate it. They want it deleted. There's so many complaints about it. And like, we'll buff the other quests. If they're good, it's almost certainly going to be a thing. Well, they just play their quest and win the game and it's boring, right? Like, these are very linear, not very flexible play patterns that have pretty much always been a sore point for Hearthstone, have been problematic. And they reintroduce both of these sets in a row, which he just thinks doesn't make any sense, especially back to back. They're just doing it to do it because they've done it before. It's almost like the director looked at Hearthstone's prior catalog and be like, hey, you guys did quests before, do that. Oh, you guys did hero power stuff, do that, right? Like, the director is the one ultimately responsible for leading the team, right? So I'm gonna say a lot of stuff that the direction of the game is lacking in that way. We'll go into the monetization stuff later. Kibler did talk about the end of the video, and he like never brings up monetization. The battle pass, that huge controversy, he crapped on me over that. Like, that's kind of his MO, is to just avoid talk on that. But he's so baffled by how to touch things are that we'll even talk about that. And then he talked about, when was the last time Hearthstone was actually fun? Like, when was the last time it was fun? And before he even said what his like response was, what he discussed with his chat was, I knew it was the Voyage to the Sunken City. Like, it just was. Like, that came out of the absolute dark period of United at Stormwind, Fractured Alterac Valley. We got it out of that absolute nightmare and got hit up with an expansion that actually fought for board with colossal minions. We then had Nathria right after with like Prince Renathal. It was pretty cool. And then we got the Deathlight class, right? Like, that was a sick year. That was one of the best years ever in Hearthstone, let alone like most recent. It was just a great year. Then we fell down the slippery slope of we have a new director, right? That's basically what had happened. Ixar left the team and we start going on a new direction, and we get stuff like Showdown of the Badlands and Titans pushing power level beyond levels we've ever seen, and it's only gotten worse to the point where Perils in Paradise and Whizbang, if you combine the nerfs for those two expansions, which are still going to be in standard until the end of the year, have around 70 nerfs. That's like over the first 5 years of Hearthstone style of nerfs, more than that. Like, it's incredible, and they're still too good. They're still too good, where we're likely gonna have another major balance patch announced maybe later today, I don't know, and it's gonna add to those numbers. It's going to. That's how crazy the power level is. And yeah, it's only gotten worse, and it's made it to the point where all these decks are so ruthlessly efficient at drawing cards, OTKing you, that when's the last time minion and base battling was relevant in Hearthstone? Like, I just feel like he kind of talks about like a good game of Hearthstone is when two players consistently go back and forth, and then something kind of crazy happens. Something, you never know what will happen, right? It's that Hearthstone magic where you get that RNG swing, or that big crazy thing can happen, and maybe it screws you, maybe it's amazing for you, but it's that magical Hearthstone time that's not there anymore. Like, there's almost no random in Hearthstone right now, which is crazy to think about. It's very minimal. Fyrakk is the biggest thing I could think of, which sees some play, but overall everything's super streamlined. You just kill your opponent, or you play a super aggressive deck and kill them really early. That there isn't that fun flavor in Hearthstone for people that like the back and forth battles, like the value. And yeah, Kibler brings that up quite a bit, I will say. And again, he just really harps on, what are we even doing here? What is the plan, right? And he used like an example of the Murloc quest for Paladin, where you just have to summon Murlocs and you gain stats over and over. It's really easy. And then you have the Shaman quest where you have to play 7 different tribes. You can't even summon. And then you have to play a 5-mana reward. And then that reward might give you +3 attack, where your Murlocs are well past that point. And it just doesn't make sense. There just seems to be a complete disconnection between the teams themselves and design. It's just kind of odd. And the most troubling part of it is that he doesn't seem to think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. He mentions they could nerf like 10, 20, 30, 40 cards, and he still wouldn't really have much faith in like things changing. Like, it's been so much of a pileup of how these things are that you could nerf, yeah, like the top 20 decks, and you're still probably not getting to a point where Quest Rogue sees play. And he also says a lot of what we say about buffs, where if you just buff everything, then the game just gets even faster. We're dying faster. How are we getting our quests out? Or I guess if you make the quest OTK on 5, sure, they'll see play, but that's not exactly making the game better. Last year, we saw a record amount of nerfs to cards that are being buffed. An example right now, Menagerie Mug, right? That card, people want nerfed. That got buffed too. Like, that's the result of buffs. It constantly happens. Imbue Paladin, people loathe. That was because of buffs. Like, you have to look at it. Buffs need to be very precise. You don't know what it can lead to. And they've learned a lot in the past year. Last year, they buffed a lot because they listened to a lot of people that kept telling them to buff, it'll fix things. It only made things worse. That's why it slowed down. But yeah, we're at a point where they're obviously going to buff some of these quests. They're so astronomically bad, but at the end of the day, that's not the solution. If anything, it has been a bigger part of the problem. And I guess I'll just use as an example. He talked about the power creep and all of stuff in Hearthstone, where he mentioned Fiery War Axe being reintroduced to like the core set. Used to be Fiery Wind Axe, and that can't even kill the best 1-drop in standard. A 1-mana 2/4, right? The 2-drop control weapon can't even kill a 1-drop a lot of the time, where yeah, early game power is just so insane. It just doesn't see the light of the end of the tunnel, right? Like he just doesn't see, he doesn't have confidence in the direction of the game, right? Leadership is not showing any reason for confidence. And that goes just beyond, again, the actual game. Whereas promotion, like, let's talk about the pet, right? He actually brought up the pet. I was shocked where he can't believe that the social team is posting about the pet all the time still when the community is so adamant against it. They just tweeted out this. They tweeted this out yesterday. Again, like the 3rd or 4th time. Life and King Crush, find a way, right? And that's a good Jurassic Park reference. People wouldn't be that mad if it wasn't plugging a pet that is locked behind predatory gambling mechanisms that costs $160. That is just, it's flagrantly used to be deceptive. And look at the ratio here, 103 likes for them. For me, 459. That's like absolute overkill. Whoever is running this account, please read your replies and get in touch with your community. The constant posts about your $158 pet are almost as disgusting as the predatory gambling you've implemented into the game. Read the room. And I followed up because I'm just so sick of it that they've made 3 tweets promoting the pet. I think it's actually 4. I'm not entirely sure. It's a lot. No comment on how you actually acquired the thing. I wonder why. No posts on Twist, no posts about Hat, and barely any posts on the new expansion itself. The only thing more out of touch than this social account is leadership itself. And yeah, Kibler also brought up they haven't extended Ridiculous Hat. He also said Ridiculous Hat is the best community manager he's ever dealt with. Like, he's been great. Why are they not just, you know, getting his contract resolved? What is going on? What are we doing here? And I want to just point something out that blows my absolute mind. You remember the Rawrins Rumble? Something they obviously spent a good amount of money on, having the Twitch stream and then wanting to promote it. If you go to the official Play Hearthstone YouTube, just 3 days ago, they posted 3 highlights from that Rumble. If you take a look, the titling, atrocious. Nobody's going to want to care about that. But the most insulting part, they did not think to make a thumbnail, a basic thumbnail for any of these videos that they posted all at the same time, so they cannibalize each other. It should have been like one a day with proper thumbnails and titling. But hey, at least the pets video has a thumbnail. And how's the pets video doing? Ah, good. 700 likes, 2.5K dislikes. Very brave of Blizzard to allow comments on this video. $158 cosmetic pet getting full cinematic from Blizzard. Of course, this getting more budgets in terms of the animation than the expansion trailer baffles me. And that is all decision of leadership, of the directors, of direction that, again, Brian Kibler is mentioning makes no sense. And I will agree with his take on the pet as well. Why didn't they just introduce a basic free one that everyone can enjoy, then put in the really expensive one that if you want to upgrade your basic little pet, you can just get the shiny one for a lot. Instead, they went straight for maximum money, maximum gotcha, maximum deception. I actually had Regis reply to me. We're just going off the cuff here at this point. I'm pissed off. He went off the cuff where I was thinking today, it seems like no one has this pet. I've seen one in a week. One person with it in a week. And I play full time. I even play off stream because I love Hearthstone. I don't care. I still love the damn game. But what's crazy is they may not actually have to sell any pets to consider it a huge success if people drop 50 to start the slot machine and bail out before the pet. And that's the point of it making. That's the whole point. They don't care about you getting the pet. They just want to bleed you of a bit of money until you give up. That's literally the whole point, because you can't win the damn thing unless you get really, really lucky. And that's what I said. That's the whole point of doing it this way. It's so gross. So that's the first time they introduce a pet. The reason they took away boards, right? We're taking away something from you, and then we're giving you something we want you to spend a fortune on. That doesn't seem like a good deal. I don't know how you make that seem like something people will support, but leadership, they think it's a good deal, and they remain silent about everything. Brian Kibler, after all these issues, is now, as he said, taking an indefinite break. He doesn't know if he'll be back. He really doesn't see a light at the end of the tunnel for Hearthstone to return to its greatness. Like, he just doesn't see it. He wants it to. He wants to be back. But yeah, current leadership, current direction, it's not getting there. It's getting worse. And more decisions keep happening that are troubling. And I'm glad Brian Kibler made this video to point it out. If Brian Kibler, a guy who's been here since day one, Magic Gathering Hall of Famer, absolute beloved icon in the community, is leaving and they don't respond in any reasonable way, we might be in for some real troubling times. I ain't going anywhere because, well, you know me, I'm stubborn. I don't give a damn. I'll keep fighting till the very last day. But yeah, really troubling stuff. And again, thanks to Kibler for making this video. Again, watch it. It's linked down below. And yeah, maybe we can get some communication on some leadership direction over there at the Hearthstone team. I hear we have a Hearthstone director. Maybe he can mention something. We don't have a community manager to communicate these things, so why doesn't he step up? I mean, isn't it about time? I don't know. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.